Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I have part 2 of my French flea market haul. It's a lot of video, chock-a-block with old maps, buttons, books, paper, cards, and lace, and all kinds of French brocante eye candy. If you like vintage books, paper, and other ephemera, altered books, and journal arts, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications, and you will have more of them in your life. Let's go look at the good stuff. I got really lucky with maps this trip. These are from the 1880s, 1882, 1884, and they are paper on linen panels. And that is because these were meant to be used a lot and stand up to a lot of folding and unfolding. When I get these and they're in bad condition, I take them apart and use them for components in art pieces. But you will be pleased to hear that these are gorgeous, and I am not going to be taking these apart. They're in very good condition. This one does have some foxing on the linen. Aside from the foxing on the linen, it is in very good condition. It has this beautiful stilograph style printing. This one is a little bit bigger. It's from the Librairie Militaire, which means the military bookstore. And it's on a lighter color linen. And here it is, opened flat. This one has marbled covers, marbled paper. I have never seen this in a map before. So I guess it was just supposed to look very, very classy. And it does. It's pretty. And here is that one opened up. And it is from Chalon. The maps are for sale. If you look in the text below the video, you will see a price list, and if you fancy them, just drop me an email. I got some beautiful books. This one, even though it's distressed, it's just got so much warmth and depth and heart to it. It's from 1815, and it's the works of this guy. I don't know. It's got these marbled end papers. And it also has marbling on the end pages of the text. Which is also true for this book. It's got marbling all around there. And this is a book, see, it says compte fait, it means make accounts. And it's full of mathematical tables. Now, my husband tells me that when he was a boy, these were used in school, and they were called ready reckoners. And I can only imagine that's because you use these if you wanted to reckon something readily. Here is a bigger version of some tables. And I like to use pages like this as backgrounds in my altered books and in art journals because they're just so cool to start with before you've done a thing. All you have to do is add some images for contrast, and you've got a really strong page off and running. And here are two books that are really beautiful. Got this gilt and the royal blue color there. The spines kind of had it. And it is from 1848. It has a few engravings. I think this is the Alhambra. This is a very similar style, just different colors. And it is called, it's The Curious Origins of Inventions and Discoveries. And it also has a couple of engravings. I do not know what I am going to do with these yet. I'm still just staring at them and admiring them. I have made printable high-res scans of all of these book covers, including some of these others that I showed 2 weeks ago in a video. You can use them they are on Etsy. You can use them to make your own handmade books, junk journals, art journals. They also make fun backgrounds in mixed media, in collage, and card making, all kinds of other projects. So if you think you can use these, the link to where they are is in the text below the video. I got so much beautiful lace and fabric trim, partly because my friend wanted to go to a market that was only for fabric and sewing notions. I didn't want to go, but I humored her, and I'm so glad she made me because I was wrong and she was right. I got so many beautiful things. Like these cards of buttons. These buttons are of a milk glass. And these even have the full card with this gorgeous printing. And they're iridescent. This is handmade. It's kind of tattered. And I don't care because I can't believe I have something this beautiful. I am not sure what I'm going to do with it. I think I may use it, incorporate it into a cover of an art journal or an altered book, but definitely one of an art piece. And the same thing with this here. This is almost an écru. A lot of what I have here is trim that would have gone on lingerie or a petticoat or something like that. And it's actually called Baudoin de dentelle, which means lace borders. This makes me so happy. This piece is a handkerchief, and it's, again, handmade lace. Handmade lace, and it's sewn around this silk fabric. And I am actually going to wear this. I'm going to fold it up and wear as a pocket handkerchief in my blazer. I am selling some of these pieces. I'm selling them in bundles, and I'm going to show them at the end of the video because it's going to be fiddly and take a little bit of time to show what is in each bundle. So if you're interested in lace and textiles, Join me there at the end of the video. Meanwhile, let's keep moving. Here are a few vintage Catholic pieces. Now, I am not Catholic, but I am a Francophile. And while these are objects of devotion for some people, I collect them because to me they are talismans of the history and culture and stories of a country that I really love. This is a missal. It is a book from Orleans, and it's just got psalms and lessons. This book has been spoken for, but I really wanted to show it today because it does have a story, I think. As I've shown before, it has these holy cards, vintage cards that someone has put in there. I haven't moved them. This is exactly where I found them. And as you know, if you've seen my videos, I already think that's interesting enough. Almost like a little bit of a hint about somebody else's faith life. But this one has another story. This card is a mourning card for a young woman who's died. And it says here, her name was Suzette Sabatier, and she died in her 18th year. And then also in this book is a mourning card for Jacqueline Sabatier, who died in her 5th year, 2 years later, 2 years after Suzette. So I am wondering if the reason that this book is so well worn and so used is because whoever had it went through a lot of suffering. And that makes it very precious. This is a wooden rosary. It's huge. It's 4.5 to 5 feet long from end to end. It's made of these wooden beads. And back in the day, it might have been worn by a nun or a monk around their waist. But this is explicitly a souvenir. It says souvenir of Lourdes, Lord. And over on the other side, it says Marie Immaculée, priez pour nous. And since it is a souvenir, and it also has some carving on the linking bead, this probably was intended as a wall rosary. So part decorative, part devotional item. And this is a more conventional piece. It's also pretty big. It's 22 inches, so it's almost 2 feet from end to end. It's from the 1890s, and these are hand-cut mother-of-pearl beads. And someone has added another medal, and the medal is actually stamped 1894. And it has this two-tone Art Nouveau linking bead. A white rosary like this would probably have been given to a young woman on her wedding day. White rosaries were common for first communions, but I think a piece this big would have been pretty valuable, so I'm going with wedding. I also found some protection pins, like this one. These medals would have been put onto a pin, making a kind of a brooch. So you could pin this to the inside of your jacket or coat and invoke the protection of these saints. These medals are very well worn, which again, I find charming because I think it means that these were worn and used for a long time. This is a reliquary. A reliquary is a fancy word for a box that holds relics of the saints. And I'm sorry about the reflection. They are notoriously hard to photograph. I've never seen one that didn't have a glare on it. It's from the late 18th century, and it's got this brocade on the back and this gold braid. And inside are remains of several different saints. There's Saint Louis, Saint Lucien, Saint Clare, Saint Germain, and others. They also have these super cool, this is called a paperole, which is it's a kind of quill work with gilt paper. So these would have been made in a convent, probably, and a lot of handwork and care and artisanship went into making these. And of course, I got a lot of paper ephemera. These are cards. They seem to be a kind of trading card. And my friend in France said that when she saw these, she laughed because she said that when she was a girl in school, these were given to you if you did well, if you made a good grade or had good attendance, stuff like that. So this one was bug heavy, this lot, but there's also these flowers. And I am going to be selling some of these in ephemera boxes, but I'm also keeping a lot of them for me because I'm going to be putting them in altered books, in pockets in altered books, because they're just these charming, unusual, they'll make charming, unusual tags. I thought these were cool. It says bon per un kilogramme of well, it says that this card is good for 1.5 kilograms of bread. So I don't know, but I'm wondering if this was some kind of a coupon, a ration coupon during the war. If you know, maybe let me know in the comments and I'll be a little bit smarter. I also got quite a few of these receipts. These are called factures. And this one is from a building company. And I use these, I like to make them into backgrounds in altered books and art journals. So, like I'll put that across the middle and then I can add some elements and you've got a cool background. I have scans of these on Etsy. This trim is very wide and it was cut off of another piece. So it might have been trim for a petticoat or maybe for some table linens. It's 8 yards altogether. And what makes this really special is that this pulled work and the embroidered flowers and edges are all done by hand. So I suspect this would have been a trousseau piece for somebody's wedding because it would have taken a lot of time and work to do all 8 yards of this. It would have been a special piece. This bundle is similar, but different. It also has a vintage tin and the vintage glass buttons on the card. And here's the lace. Here's a panel that would make a really good cover or page. 2 yards of the Chantilly lace in a kind of a ecru color. A length of the eyelet trim. A piece from that petticoat trim, also with a kind of eyelet. They would have actually put ribbons. They would have wove ribbons in these eyelet holes here. A length of this pretty wide white cotton lace. And another length of this piece with the hand-sewn braid and hand-embroidered flowers. And that's a yard. This, again, was trim. You can even see it's still sewn together. It would have been trim on a skirt or a petticoat. And it's got 2 layers of lace and some pleating here. So that would make a pretty project. I'm just not sure what. And then finally, this is sublime. It's exquisite. It's just this length of old lingerie lace. And it also has a little mixed paper packet. There you go. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments below. I am going to be back in a few days. My next video is going to be a process video, making an art journal page, talking about collage basics. So please join me for that. And until then, happy making.